Hello, and welcome to a bungalow full automated setup. Now, today we are going to be making this thing completely fully automated. You're going to be able to order supplies, sit back, relax, and watch your employees do all of your work for you. Now, we are going to be. Why are these two inside each other? What is going on? You guys look like freaking crazy monster. But you're going to want two botanists. Two handlers, as you see, one handler over there, and we have one handler inside of our botanist. You know, great time, great time. And you're gonna want one chemist, because in this bungalow, we're gonna be running a 4-stage mix all the way to the end product, get it packaged here, everything's gonna be done here. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. Now we have an empty house except for 2 storage racks right here. Have everything absolutely empty. Now these 2 storage racks are going to be the supplies that are going to feed our botanists all the stuff they need. Now the items you're going to need for this build are going to be 8 storage racks, 10 pots, 10 lights, 10 suspension racks, 6 drying racks, 1 brick press, 4 mixing stations, and 5 lockers. Now every operation has to start with a seed. Now we're going to do 10 pots, because the rest of the slots that the botanists are going to fill up are going to be drying racks here. So we're just going to kind of evenly place these guys along the sides. Kind of keep the middle of the floor open here. Makes it look nice. Now let's just go ahead and pop all of our suspension racks up in here. Look how beautiful. And of course we can't get our lights like I did in the last episode. Completely forgot the lights, and stuff wasn't growing, and I was just sitting there looking like a dummy, wondering why it wasn't growing. Because it doesn't have lights, dummy! Oh, looky there, we got all that set up. Look at beautiful. Now we're gonna set our drying racks up, because we are gonna be pumping out heavenly product out of this place. Nothing less, because we need top quality product here. Then we're just gonna place the last 2 on the ends just like so. 6 drying racks all set up right here. Go ahead, grab the rest of our placeables here. Now we're going to be putting the lockers on the back wall here sideways, just like so. All 5 of them for all 5 of our employees. Now, one thing is you can't walk through here. So if you do want to make it walkable, you could actually just move this thing over here, and the botanist will still be able to get to it over here. And then our end product, the final product going out the door, is going to go on this storage rack right here next to the front door. And then we're going to have an extra rack over here for supplies. And then we're going to put all 4 of these extra racks on the walls like so, because this is where our mixing stations are going to sit. Now, I like to put the storage racks behind the mixing stations because the handler can just come over, grab stuff off the shelf, put it right on the mixing station super close, could do it super quickly. Now this extra shelf over here is going to be for the extra resources and supplies that are going to be filling all of these mixing stations here. And the reason you want to put it on this wall, because sometimes, not all the time, but the handler could pick stuff off of the van and actually place it through the wall where this rack's going to be sitting. Super efficient, helps it out a lot. And our final thing, which is going to be brick press, we're going to put that dude right here. So final product going to be bricked up, put on the end shelf right there, and everything should run super smooth. Now we got that all in place. Let's go ahead and grab our... Are you guys just going to be completely in each other to where I can't access anybody? Hold on. This isn't going to work out for me. Yeah, I can't access the botanist because the handler is all up in our business, but that's all right. Let's just go ahead and grab the handler, assign him a locker like so, and then you are going to be in charge of the brick press, my good sir. And we're going to open up all your routes, and your job is going to be filling up all of these mixing stations. You're going to run from the storage rack to the mixing station, and we're just going to set him up on all of these just like so. So we're going to grab our second handler, assign her to her little locker over here, and she's not going to have a station to take care of. Now, to make things more streamlined and super more automated, we're actually going to take out one of these racks. One rack is going to supply 2 botanists. I know, it's counterintuitive, but it's the only way we're going to be able to route everything perfectly and have everything automated. So we're going to take his last route. We're going to run him from the van over to the supplying rack that's going to supply these guys over here. Then we're going to grab our second person, assign them to a locker, which I already did. Then we're going to run some routes from the van over to this storage rack, and then we are going to fill out all of these from this storage rack over to here. So the handler is going to unload the van onto this rack, and then that same handler is going to run this product over to all of the storage racks that are going to supply all these mixing stations, and it's going to work out wonderfully. So we're going to have them run there, and then run from here over to this one, and from this one again over to this one, and then finally we're going to have it run this last one over here. So with that set up, the handler should be fully automated. All we got to do is set the filtering icons, which we are going to be doing a random mix today. We're going to be starting with an Addy. So the first stage is going to be right here, and then it's going to go around this way, and then this is going to be the final stage, and then it's going to come off and go to this rack over here. It's going to work out wonderfully. So this guy over here is going to be Addy. So we're going to set all of these filters to Addy. That way the handler will only fill this complete rack with Addies. There we go. We got all of them set to Addy, and then we're just going to go around to these racks back here, set these all to our appropriate ingredients here. So the second ingredient is going to be iodine, and then horse semen, and then some mega bean to top it all off. Last mega bean put in. Now all these storage racks are set, filtered, ready to rip. So we're going to set the first 3 slots to dirt, and then the rest of the slots are going to be set to seeds, which we are going to be using Granddaddy Purple seeds for this build here. Now I know it's not the most profitable, but you know what? I like the color of it. I like it being purple. I don't like the green crack because it glows so much, and it's just so much bloom effect. I hate it, but that nice crispy purple, Granddaddy Purple, I love it. So this is all set. Now it'll be supplied out. We got the seeds, we got the dirt. We don't need fertilizer on this run because we're going to be running dry racks. After making a little trip to my local seed dealer, we have some seeds up in here. So let's go ahead and place these dudes up in here. Now you can deliver the seeds directly to your bungalow as long as your relationship status with Albert, the seed dealer here, or I guess the weed seed dealer here, as long as you got them all the way up with relationship status, you could actually deliver seeds straight to your bungalow, which I don't have, but you guys may. Then we're going to go ahead and open up our delivery list here. Now we are going to go ahead and order us some soil. Now it's 10 soil per slot, so we're going to want 30 of that guy, and we're going to send that directly to the bungalow here. Bam, place that order. We got 2 hours to wait, not a big deal. Now, as long as everything is assigned correctly, the handler should unload everything for us. Good morning. I said it to morning already, but we are still waiting on the van, I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Yeah, we got about an hour left to wait on the van. That's not a big deal. While we're waiting, we go ahead and assign our other employees here. Let's go ahead and get your locker, ma'am. You are going to be on this guy over here, and then you're going to be assigned every single mixing station up in here. This go be your job to take care of, all right? I expect great things from you. Go ahead and assign our botanists to their little duties here. Get your locker, ma'am. Get a little supply rack for you from here. And then we are going to assign you to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pots up in here. And then 6, 7, 8. Then all we got to do is assign our last botanist to his job. Your supplies are going to be pulled from here, friend, and then you're going to get all of these pots over on this side, along with all the drying racks on this side. Perfect, just like that. All we got to do is pay these people, and they should start getting to work. Our handler's handling stuff. I totally forgot to set the filters on this rack, so I got to make it so soil doesn't get loaded up on this rack over here. So we're going to have to set this up. So we're going to be using a 4-mix strain, so we're going to have to set 2 slots to Addy, just like so. We're going to grab this, and then we got 2 slots we are going to assign to iodine, 2 slots to horse semen, and then finally the last 2 is going to be mega bean here. Now the reason we're filtering this is so the employees don't accidentally load the soil and seeds up on this rack over here, and make sure that they all go right here. Beautiful. We got the soil in, we got the seeds in, our botanists are getting to work. That is a sight I love to see. And no, we're not using a trash person for this build up. For the love of God, just type in the council command, clear trash. And voila, like magic, it was never there. Now that these guys are all working, all we got to do is load all this up, and all we have to do is put in some deliveries to vans, and we are good to go. Now with ordering, we're going to do 160 of each item, and then we're going to order through 2 vans and just have them deliver one after another. They'll get unloaded automatically, and we should be golden. 160 iodine. Send that feller to the bungalow, yes. And then we're going to order from the other gas station. 160 semen and 160 megabane. And that will also go straight to the bungalow. Now you can order them in succession like this. They will just load up into the dock one at a time, and then the handler will unload stuff, and it should work fantastically. So we're going to take all of these drying stations, make sure they're all set to heavily, just like so, and we are going to set their end destination. It's going to be a little bit strange, but all their end destinations are going to go to this mixer right here. Now that's going to create a little bit of a bottleneck. Rather than having all the end destinations go to like a storage rack and then have a handler unload it from the storage rack to the mixer itself and so on, but we don't have extra slots for our handlers to move stuff, so we are just going to avoid that step altogether. So drying racks go straight to the mixer, and of course we're going to have all of our mixing stations move from one station to the next. So end destination of this one, and then we're going to set this one over to this one. After we set all of our mixing stations to their destination from one mixing station to the next, the final one is going to go to the brick press. And then finally, the brick press destination is going to go to the storage rack over here. So everything's going to get mixed up. They're going to get pressed into bricks, and the bricks are going to go to there. All right, our first van delivery is in. Let's see what our handler does. She's going to start picking stuff up, which she grabbed and added. Oh, you don't run it through the wall. Oh. Kind of run it through the wall. All right, that's a little weird. So she walks over here and loads it through the wall to get onto the storage rack here. Beautiful. So she took the Addy off the shelf. She put it up over here. Now the other handler should pick that up, put it onto the mixing station. Oh, beautiful. So things might run a little bit slow because she unloads all the items she can into the slots that she can, and then she'll grab one and then bring it over. A little bit slow, but you know what? It's going to get work done. It's completely automated. You don't have to worry about it, and you could do a whole bunch of other stuff while you're making money. All right, I should have all these plants split up. So I have the end pots right here. I have one selected on that rack over there. I have this one selected on this rack over here, and then I just have 2 paired up with each rack up in here. So everything is, for the most part, pretty even. And the reason you don't want to have a full 8 pots assigned to a botanist, the botanist has a hard time watering all the pots, especially keeping up with 8 of them. So if you have like 6 or less, I think it is, you're actually going to have a little bit more efficient botanist. He's going to be able to keep up with the plants and keep up with the drying racks over here. So everything will be dried out to nice and heavenly status in about 2 business days. So a little issue I encountered, this dude got stuck. I think he got stuck in between the racks right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick this up. And we are going to move this dude over here, and hopefully he doesn't get stuck again, but we are going to have to reassign the pots. All right, so moving that drying rack seems to have freed up the botanist there. He's no longer stuck. So yeah, this is the setup to go with. He doesn't get stuck anymore with this. Employees still be getting stuck. Had a little update. It fixed a lot of their pathing, but they still get stuck on racks. They still get stuck in between counters and walls and stuff. So be very wary of that. Leave a little bit of space in between things. Ah, it's morning again. Nothing better than watching your employees work for you. Absolutely beautiful sight. But the handler is almost done with the second van unloaded. We still got plenty of dirt. We got plenty of seeds. We have a bunch of product drying. We can't get past our employees because it's a super tight corridor. But that's all right. Turn the lights on in here. Get some action with these lights. So she is doing her job. She has loaded up all the racks and stuff. She's doing finely. Gonna start taking the mega beans, sticking it over in the last machine over there. We got everything fully stocked up. Now she is a little bit slow, but you know what? I'm gonna let that go. Everything's fine. Now all we have to do is wait until all of this stuff gets to heavenly status, and then we could start seeing it get into the mixing process. Oh, here we go. Our first heavenly product is dried out ready, and she's bringing it to the mixing station. There it is. It's in the mixing station. And the chemist should start walking in here. Yep. And then she's gonna start mixing. Oh, this is a beautiful thing. All we got to do is make sure that she transfers this over to here and mixes it there, mixes it here, mixes it there. First mix is done. Just wait. Oh, there she is, right on time. Good job, Samantha. She's gonna take that, which turned into Aspen Death. She's gonna take it over here and start mixing it up. Yes, sir. Oh, beautiful. Now Samantha's gonna grab the shiny gruel, I think it's called, and move it on over. Yes, sir. Nothing better than watching your employees work and breathing into their ear. I love the way you mix them good stuffs. Now we have Ice Cream Express. We're gonna wait for handy dandy Samantha to come over here. Oh yes. Madam, you're doing a fine job. Just gonna bring it over here, mix it up again. This is the greatest thing ever. I love automation. It's so good. And our final mix is wedding cookies at $88. Not bad. Now we're just gonna make sure that is all set through. She's gonna come back over here, grab this, hopefully run it over the brick press, and everything's just gonna go all the way to the end. And she's dropping it in the brick press like a good little girl. Oh, there it is. Now we just gotta wait for enough of that to get stacked up to press a brick. Oh, she got the brick press all filled up. Now we just gotta wait for our handler to work on it. And here comes Edward to the rescue. I absolutely love watching the employees work. It's so good. Yeah, boy, you worked that press. And Mr. Edward, sir, is gonna pick up that brick, send it over to the final destination. Yes, sir. Let's go. Wedding cookies. Absolutely love it. Now this is fully automated. I just have deliveries coming in with vans with all the resources we need. I'm ordering 60 of each item at a time. As you can see here, I have another one in store to come arriving back up after this one is all emptied off. I have plenty of extra dirt and seeds to go around. Now I'm going to go ahead and wait it out until morning, run an entire day to see how many bricks we get per day out of this little bungalow setup. Now that we're running in full operation here, we got all the racks filled up, we got stuff drying, we got stuff mixing. Tomorrow is the day. Oh, good morning. It is currently 7:22 in the morning. We have 0 bricks in storage. I'm going to go ahead and wait out the entire day, and we're going to see how many bricks we get out of this little operation. All right, an entire day later, and we are at, what is it, 4 o'clock in the morning? Yep, 4 o'clock in the morning, and we have made 7 bricks. Now, if we do the math, let's go ahead and go into our products. Wedding cookies sells for $88, but we could bump that up. We could sell it for at least $100, which means each brick would be $2,000, which means we just made $14,000 in one day. That is not bad for this little bungalow setup. Well, guys, I think that's going to be all the time we have for today. If you liked the video, please don't forget to hit that like button. If you want to support little old me, go ahead and become a member. I would highly appreciate it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to see some more awesome content from me. And guys, I will see you on the next one. Bye!